In 2024, consumer returns cost retailers $890 billion. Generative AI virtual try-on was supposed to solve it. Instead, online apparel returns climbed past 30%. Across the studio fence, the same wave hit audio. Universal Music, Sony, and the RVC filed against generative audio platforms, Suno, Udio, and Anthropic. Two industries. One architectural failure. The paper's thesis is direct. The wrapper era is closing for the enterprise. A chatbot stapled to a foundation model is fast and cheap, and it is sandwiched between hyperscalers that can change pricing at will and end users who churn the moment a competitor wraps the same API. The defensible architecture is the opposite shape. Deterministic core, probabilistic edge. Engineer the immutable, wrap the rest. Three failure modes define the wrapper stack. The first, hallucination of fit. Diffusion model try-on optimizes for pixel coherence, not cloth physics. A size 12 body and a size 6 dress sees the fabric warp to cover the body perfectly. The fantasy mirror sells the click and pays for the return. The second, regurgitation liability. Most generative audio models were trained on scraped catalogs. If the output mimics a copyrighted work, the enterprise inherits strict liability and cannot audit the training set. The third, the ownership vacuum. The U.S. Copyright Office holds that works produced solely by AI without significant human authorship are not copyrightable. The brand cannot own the asset. The deep solution replaces the probabilistic core with a deterministic engine and applies AI at the edges. In fashion, the core is a cloth simulation engine. The garment is not an image. It is a digital CAD pattern stitched in 3 dimensions with measured physical properties. Bending stiffness controls drape. Shear stiffness governs bias cut silhouette. Tensile stiffness sets stretch under tension. Raw denim has near zero stretch, and the simulation refuses to lie about it. Internal damping settles the cloth. Buckling ratio controls how sleeves bunch. Run the simulation on an avatar that matches the user's measurements, and the geometry reflects the true fit. If the dress is too tight, the engine renders stress lines, X patterns at the waist or buttons. AI returns for the composite, placing the rendered garment into the user's photograph. A lightweight CNN estimates light direction, color temperature, and a synthetic HDR environment map. Differential rendering then blends the object into the scene without re-rendering the room. The final pixel is the original scene, attenuated by the garment's shadow, plus the rendered garment itself. In audio, the same shape repeats. The core is a unit that consumes a spectrogram from a short-time Fourier transform, predicts a soft mask between 0 and 1 for each stem, and multiplies element-wise. The inverse SDFT returns clean vocals, drums, bass, isolated, traceable, licensable. Voice conversion follows. Hubert extracts content features. What was said, how it was said, identity stripped. FISS retrieves acoustic snippets from a consented voice actor database. Hi-Fi GAN fuses content with retrieved identity into a 48 kHz waveform. The economics show up beat by beat. National Retail Federation, $890 billion in returns in 2024. Online apparel return rates run 25 to 30%, climbing to 50% in peak fashion seasons. eMarketer attributes 55% of returns to incorrect size, bad fit, and color. 51% of Gen Z shoppers admit to bracketing, buying multiple sizes intending to return the rest. Processing a return costs 27% of the item's purchase price. On the audio side, the legal record is just as concrete. Midler versus Ford Motor Company and Waits versus Frito-Lay established that a sound-alike voice, even without using the celebrity's name, exposes the user to riot of publicity damages. The U.S. Copyright Office bar on pure-eye authorship rules out brand ownership of generated assets, and the deep solution travels with its compliance. Every output carries an invisible watermark, licensing ID, user ID, timestamp. Every voice frame traces to a consented actor through the FISS index. Deploy on-premise or in the client's VPC, Docker, Kubernetes, air-gapped. The boardroom argument follows. In fashion, the wrapper optimizes click-through and initial conversion. It sells the fantasy and pays the return. The deep solution optimizes net margin, sales minus returns. It outputs a fit confidence score, integrates with the brand's product lifecycle management system, and feeds the same C/D patterns the factory already uses. In audio, the wrapper output cannot be copyrighted and may infringe its own training set. The deep solution output is a derivative of licensed work. The actor consents and receives royalties, and the FISS index produces an irrefutable legal record. Wrappers sell speed. Deep solutions sell defensibility. For the enterprise leader, the choice is strategic. We've published the full architecture, the cloth physics parameter set, the differential rendering composite, the UNet masking pipeline, the FISS consent ledger, and the air-gapped deployment posture. The full brief is 17 pages, about a 23-minute read.